Hi. It's been a bit of a quiet year, really, in terms of posting videos on my YouTube channel, Splash of My Life. It's not that I haven't done anything. I guess I've just been a bit too slack, really, to put anything up. I've got a few videos which I'll put up soon from a trip I did back in March on Minerva, the 38-foot Naughty Cat pilot houseboat. And also, I think I've got one video from a trip I did on Rubicon, a Huon 36 pilot houseboat. But as I say, I've done quite a bit of sailing this year, and the quest to find the boat for me that I'm looking for, it's still ongoing. But I might have found something. I may have. I'm waiting to hear back from a broker in South Australia because I want to compare a bit more about that particular boat. I'll tell you a bit about that in a moment. Versus one that's for sale locally, or will be for sale locally, which I found out through a friend of mine via the CYCT, the Cruising Yacht Club of Tasmania. Anyway, I'll start off first of all with a bit of an overview of what I've done this year. Racing basically came to a grinding halt for a number of reasons, but fundamentally because the owner of Attila, Mr. John Hunt, basically he had a fall and broke his hip, and he's close to 90, and basically it was just too much for him. So he's actually put the boat up for sale, but it's not a boat that I'd be buying. It's out of my league, and again, it's just not really what I'm looking for. It's a nice boat, but anyway, that was a FAR 38. Anyway, so I've only just started racing again, even though sailing season started probably about a month or two ago now. I've managed to get onto a 37-foot timber-built boat, and it's pretty fast. It's called the Galapagos Duck. I can't remember who the designer of the boat was. The owner built it himself with the help of some people. And it's a good boat, it's fast. And there's just generally the four of us on board. So I've resumed my normal position in racing, which is the port side heady winch, which suits me fine. And we've had some fun. We've done 2 races, but now we're stopping for the Christmas period. And I imagine we'll start again sometime in the new year. Anyway, so that's racing. In terms of trips, I did a 3-week trip up the east coast of Tassie, back up to Bass Strait. We cruised Flinders Island, Deal Island, and did a circumnavigation of the Hogans. Hogans are in Victorian water, so essentially we've done another couple of Bass Strait crossings, so that's good. That was a fantastic trip. Again, the same crew as we had last year. So Lou, the owner of the boat, myself, and Lou's good friend Chris. So again, we had terrific time, lots of laughs, and explored, and really learnt a lot, and just really, it was a fantastic trip. Interesting on the way back, we encountered some pretty extreme conditions coming down past bottom end of Shooten Island, including 65 knot squalls coming across the starboard beam, which must admit put the boat over on an extremely hard heel, but we managed to get over that one okay. And then going into Tarabana, we got hit with 50 odd knot squalls again, so and bashing away to that was quite interesting to say the least. Anyway, I've got a few videos I'll put up later on that one. And then since then, I've done a whole stack of smaller trips, sort of like weekend trips. I did a 4-day trip down to Southport on my friend's Huon 36, boat called Rubicon. And basically, most of the trips I've been doing since the Flinders trip have been around the Derwent and the Channel. So trips down around Bruny Island, Franklin Cygnet, and things like that, on both mixture of both on Rubicon and also on Minerva. But it's been good fun, and so again, learning more as I go along with racing on the new boat, learning a few more little pointers about sail trimming and other things like that. Still working on trying to learn more about navigation and general boat maintenance and stuff like that across the year. But besides that, the other thing too I've been doing is excuse me, it's hot, so enjoying a cold beer, an Indian Pale Ale. But also been looking at a range of boats. Now, there's one boat that keeps on drawing me back, and I wish I could afford it. It's actually come down significantly in price, and if circumstances were right, it's the boat I'd really, really, really want. It's a Sparkman and Stevens 39. It's called Mark Twain. It's built back in 1971. It holds some pretty impressive statistics, including 25 Sydney Hobart yacht races, which is remarkable. It's a custom-built, bespoke yacht. It is just gorgeous. But sadly, I doubt my budget really can stretch that far at this point in time. And I just don't know, as a 39-foot boat, really whether it's just a bit too much for me. And it does need some fitting out for cruising. It's been largely used for racing. But it is the sister boat to the Western Australian sailor, John Sanders, who's on the last leg of his 10th circumnavigation of the world. It's quite an amazing feat, and John's just done this trip, as he has on some previous circumnavigations, on his Sparkman Stevens 39 Peru Banu 2. His boat's the sister boat to Mark Twain. It's an absolute glorious boat. The other Sparkman Stevens that I had really liked, a boat called Curlew, which was also a 39, but that one was set up for cruising. It went off the market about a year ago. It was sold. Would have liked it, but it was a bit out of my budget range, to say the truth. Be truthful. It's come back on the market again, which is interesting, but I can't afford it. It's $70,000 plus, and I just don't have that sort of money for a boat at this point in time. Anyway, so that's that. There was another Sparkman and Stevens boat that I looked at briefly. It was a 34. We all know Sparkman and Stevens 34s are fabulous boats, and each of them have done circumnavigations and lots of yacht races and stuff like that. And the price is actually quite reasonable now. It's come down to 39, but it's tired, but it does have a wheel, which is lovely. It's one of the few S&S 34s I've seen that has a wheel, and as much as I've now started to understand the feel of tiller boats, I've been sailing a few boats now recently with tillers, getting the feel of it. Intuitively, I still want a wheel, and steering of a wheel feels normal. I just don't get the tiller. It just doesn't work for me. I know plenty of people say they're wonderful, and you can feel every shift in the wind, the motion in the sea and stuff like that, and they're absolutely true. And obviously you can put a tiller pilot on it, so you got your autopilot, but no, I don't want to stick. So it's simple. Anyway, so that boat aside, speaking to the broker, I just didn't get a good feel from it. He was pretty vague in terms of the information, so it really wasn't helpful. So other boats that I have looked at included a Carter Passage 33. If you're not sure what a Carter Passage 33 looks like, think similar sort of shape to to some extent, in terms of the hull at least, to the Sparkman Stevens 34s, the UFOs 34s, the Duncanson 34s. So they're a one-tonner racer cruiser. This one was particularly well fitted out and in excellent condition, but unfortunately it sold before I really had a chance to go and inspect it. I'd only seen it visually, I hadn't had a chance to go on board, and the broker just really wasn't particularly helpful in that instance. There was also a Sparkman Stevens 37 locally, which came down to a very cheap price. possibly stretching it in terms of size for me as a first boat, but it was very much a project boat, and I don't know, I'll let it go. Two other boats that I've looked at were a Miller and Whitworth 32. I went on board that boat and had a good look at it. Nice hull, really nice shape, maybe a little bit small, which is not necessarily a bad thing for a first boat, but tired. Had some sort of squashy sections on the starboard foredeck, which, I don't know, just didn't really look that great. The cockpit was really hacked around. Tired inside, obvious signs of staining on the in the V-berth ceiling from the hatch, so obviously some leaks there. Just generally tired. Not expensive, but yeah, maybe a bit negotiable. Small motor, 20 horse. Very small fuel storage, 20 litres, which, sorry for cruising, to my mind is too small. So anyway, so I let that one go. Well, anyway, that didn't happen. There was also a Miller and Whitworth 37. And a nice boat. Done quite a few Sydney Hobarts. Again, as I said, 37, 39. Maybe it's just a little bit too big for me. Also, it's just a little bit too pricey, and truthfully, if I was going to spend the money on the Miller and Whitworth 37, I'd go for the Sparkman Stevens 39 Mark Twain, which, that to me is the perfect hull shape. It's just glorious. Look it up. Have a look on web. See what you think. So two other boats I've been looking at recently. One, well, they're both Duncansons. Duncanson 35 is a good cruising blue water boat. They've done circumnavigations. One of them that I've actually looked at physically, both on outside and actually also on board. Has actually done a circumnavigation. It's done across Tasman races, a range of things, but it's very much a project boat, and the owner of the boat is doing a tidy up on the boat to put it on the market in the new year. I don't know what price he wants for it, but truthfully it would have to be sub 30k, sub 25k to actually make it worthwhile. If he'd not started touching it, I'd have said 15 to 20 max. There's just that much not right with it. The interior was really tired. The rigging supposedly is original, which means it's 40 odd years old. The engine needs a bit of work. On and on and on. Lots of stuff. But there's also another Duncanson 35 that I'm looking at, which is over in South Australia. And I'm just waiting on the broker to get back to me with some more information about that. It could actually be the right boat. It's a nice boat. It's well equipped. It's got Bimini, and it's got a Dodger, and it's got a dinghy and outboard, and it's got a working fridge and a stove, and it's got electric winches, electric anchor winch. It looks in good shape overall. It's got a teak deck. I know some people like teak decks. Some people say don't touch a boat with a teak deck for quits. I don't know. Teak decks, they do look nice. I'll say that much. It comes down to probably in the end it'll be about the price, whether there's room for negotiation. It's listed at the moment for 39.5, price reduced. But as the broker said to me today, they're happy to put offers to the owner. So we'll see. Probably have to go and have a quick chat with my bank, given I'm a retired guy, and I don't want to blow all the money that I've got. But on the other hand, if it was the right price and it does stack up, and a survey would have to be done, and if the survey results say yep, it's sound and it's a good price or a good buy anyway, who knows? Maybe sort of mid-30s or something like that. I don't know. Won't know till we can find out. So we'll see how that goes.